What's beautiful about network marketing is you get all the benefits of being an owner without all the headaches and without the same level of risk. I'm a big fan of network marketing, always have been, and you continue to grow your skill set.
So I'm a tremendous believer in network marketing, and I'm a great believer in entrepreneurs.
The reason Kim and I endorse network marketing is because unemployment keeps going through the roof, wages keep coming down. That's why we endorse it.
There are possibilities. There are opportunities. Are you prepared? What is your plan B?
Ooh, that sounds like a rocket ship going off. Okay, let me go ahead and get the recording started here for us. So welcome everyone. Christina Perry here out of USA. I'm sure all of you probably already know that, but I always like to say that anyway. Of course, I'm pretty sure that my accent gives that away every time, but very excited to be here today. This is the beginning of a series of Saturday trainings that are sponsored by corporate. The information that we will be bringing to you each and every Saturday is vital to your business. We're going to have in-depth product training. As we continue adding products, we will actually product after product after product. That's going to be very important. Plus, there's going to be a lot of business building training, brand promoter training, if you will, because that's a part of us building our community here. And it was so interesting, and I'm going to start off, and then then we'll have the AI is going to be the second section today. We chose the AI. I know a lot of people are asking about, we need training on the working life. We need training on the virtual doc. We need training on the travel. But I wanted to do this because, you know, outside of the Blackwater, the AI was in here from the very beginning. And so many people ask about the AI product. And I'm really excited about Dr. Sentil sharing this. He was actually on with me with the company that we partnered with, and he was able to really dig in with more details. So I'm truly excited, even myself, to see his presentation and training on the AI. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But just know that each and every week as we bring these trainings to you, I promise you it's going to be beneficial information. Now I'll share with you some of the things that I'm about to go over. Some of you that have been in the industry for years, you may think I've heard this before, but one of the things that I always know, as a matter of fact, Pradeep, he and I were going back and forth, and we were talking about the training today, and he said, I just want to sit back and learn. And even though he has his own training like this as well, that's what it's about. No matter how long you've been in this industry, or if you are brand new, just knowing that you always want to be a sponge to take in information, because we're always constantly learning. What do they say? If you're not learning, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're, well, dead. So that's not where we want to be. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to dive in to my part of the presentation, and excited to be able to share this today. Mine is more on the basics. As I've already shared, this is our weekly training, again, which will go on weekly. And one of the things that I want to do is to really talk about getting started. A lot of people also ask, they want to be able to navigate in the back office. That's another training. For the future. I mean, we could literally sit here for hours and hours training. But right now, no matter where you are, make sure I'm still drinking my coffee. It's early in the morning, whether it's your tea, whatever. Sit back though. I can tell you this. This is a spiral notebook. I'm still old school. So spiral notebook, if you don't have a notebook right now, question what you're doing. And I laugh at this. I've literally, to the right of my desk, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more spiral notebooks of where I take notes, where I read and train, write, focusing on just building myself, from a spiritual standpoint. How many notebooks do you have? How many blank pieces of paper do you have that you're able to start applying and writing and learning? So that's what this is about. So let's talk a little bit about getting started. And again, whether you've been here a day, a week, a year, well, we haven't been open a year, 6 months or so where you've been in the industry, all of this is still something that I think that needs to be brought to us each and every day. So let's talk about setting the tone. One of the most valuable assets in your business is YOU. Don't forget, we've talked about you being the CEO of your business, and it's really important about what motivates you. And in my opinion, it's not just about what motivates you, but it's what motivates the people that you've personally brought in, and so on and so forth. I mean, I've had a spiral notebook just specifically of, what is your why? So the biggest question is, and please jot these down or take a snapshot of this, you have to answer these questions. When 90%, you can sit and watch and listen, you can sit and think that you're going to take this in, but studies show that 90% when you are writing and learning that way, taking these notes, studying those, you're going to have more of a higher percentage of remembering and taking that in, close to a 90% in doing that. So let's jot down some notes. So the question is, are you ready to get started? That's the biggest question. So why did you join ReNao? I can't answer that for you, but simply, you don't have to write this right now, but you need to come back and ask that question of yourself. Why did you join ReNao? What inspired you to get started? What was the inspiration behind that? Those are very important questions that only you can answer. And one of the things that I've always shared is that you have to be incredibly detailed with this. And you've probably heard me say it, if your why does not make you cry, find something else. It has to be deep and it has to be embedded. And my gentleman friends out there, you may think, I don't want to cry. I promise it's okay. To me, that makes you a stronger person. But you need to be really emotional about the answers to this. And the reason why I always say, know the people that you personally brought in, know their why, because the day, and it will happen, where they're going to say, I don't know if I can do this anymore. You're going to come back to them and say, remember the day that you told me why you joined ReNao and what inspired you? I'm not letting you quit. By the way, the only way that you fail at this is if you do quit, and we're not going to quit. So the next thing I want to ask you, we've got, it's not just about COVID. This has obviously hit the globe, hit all of us so hard. But even if this was not taking place, I mean, what is your desired level of cash flow? You have to answer that question. Again, it's different for all of us, and it's all relative, correct? So what is your desired level of cash flow? Select one of these, and you could even add to this. Pay off bills, eliminate debt, supplement your income to enhance your lifestyle, your family's lifestyle, create wealth and financial freedom. Right now, it could be, I just need to replace the job that I lost because of COVID, or the decrease in income. So you have to answer that question. What is your desired level of cash flow? And, you can add to this, but most of it kind of falls into this. It could be more specific of, I want to be able to pay my children's college education, but very specific with the cash flow and why you need that. So here's something I want you to also answer. Now, this is where, so just understand, Dr. Senthil and Pradeep, I'm going to call on you in just a second, so be prepared to unmute. And this is why this is blank. List 5 things you would love to do, have, or become if money was not an issue. Again, list 5 things that you would love to do or love to have or become if money was not an issue. So I'm going to start with this. So one of the things, if money was not an issue, I'm going to say the first thing that pops in my head, but I've got several. So I've always wanted to give back, but I'm going to be a little selfish on this one. One of the things that I've always wanted is to be able to buy a place in the Caribbean, big enough, on a place where there was a garden and all the fruit trees, but a large enough place where I could invite all of you, where it was a place where people could come visit, my teams could come visit. If money was not an issue, that is one of the first things that I would love to do. So that's mine. Now, I'm going to ask, Dr. Senthil, are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you. You had no idea I was going to ask this question.
I'm
Tell
always
me-
ready.
I know you are. Tell me one thing. If money was not an issue, what would you love to do, have, or become if money was not an issue at all?
To be very honest, I stopped playing badminton and I always wanted to learn swimming. I know a little bit of swimming, but I would love to, sleep over the water and float in the water. That's I wanted to know. I want to learn that. And I want to jump from a tall place into the water. I want to do that. I want to learn that. And I want to travel across the globe with my wife. We both love traveling, and that we are not able to do. And then I want to read a lot of books actually, and I want to read my religion in depth. I want to teach people philosophy, and where people don't have to pay for my trainings. And I want to meet a lot of people, and I would love to come to North Carolina, and want to have lunch or dinner with you and your husband. And I want to go to California and meet Mel and have fun with him. And also go to, India and meet Raman and Nair. I want to meet Patil, and I want to meet B.R. Patil. I want to meet Dilip in Delhi and have fun with him. And trust me, I want to travel across the globe, and whoever joined ReNao, I want to meet them in person and have fun. And then, my 5 is not finished. I have actually 100 actually. We keep on, and it is the money which is holding back doing on that. And that's what we call it as financial freedom. What is financial freedom? And the worry about money, the worry about future, what happens if I become old, who will take care of me, all that nonsense which keeps on taking away my time. I'll tell you, everybody has 24 hours throughout their life. Do you know, first initially 25 years, they spoil their life by giving away 8 to 12 hours in studying and preparing themselves to be a laborer. And whether you are a manager or a managing director, still you are a laborer actually. And the interview is selling yourself. You are selling your 8 hours to 12 hours, right? And they give you peanuts. And then throughout your life you work, and because you're worried about your future and the finance, and you leave out every possible thing. Health is gone. My health is gone. And I got diabetes because I started going for work. I don't have time. And early morning hours, below the sunlight, you have to do exercise. I could never do that because early morning I had to go to office. Where is vitamin D? If money is not an issue, early morning I want to do Surya Namaskar, I want to do exercise, I want to do swimming, and I want to dance actually. I used to be a break dancer. I used to be, I participated in competitions. I missed all that. I want to bring back all those dreams if money is not an issue. See, I can keep on talking.
Yes, you could, but here's what I do know. Dr. Senthil writes this down. You can sit there, and because he does this, I know his work every single day. He can bring all of these off of things that he wants to do. And so, Pradeep, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Pradeep.
Yes.
I know you've got some of this ready as well. Of course, you didn't know I was going to call on you either. And this is why it's so important for people to write at least 5 things down. And it was so wonderful hearing Dr. Senthil with so many, but he knows what he wants. So I'm going to ask you, if money was not an issue, what would you like to do, to have, or to become?
Well, the very first thing I would like to do is open an orphanage. Right? That's the very first thing I'd like to do. The second thing I would like to do is I'm very fascinated with this one clan of Indians. They call it Punjabis. And what's really wonderful about them is they've created a worldwide movement. It's called Langar. And what happens in Langar, they give free food 24/7 to anybody and everybody who walks even close to their Langar. Everybody gets free food. I'm very fascinated by that concept. And I've already been talking to a couple of people who have been globally very, very famous, trying to do these international langars and to actually join hands with them and help serve people. If money was not the problem, or once I make a lot of money, that is definitely something I will do. Now, I had a concept back in 2015, and I couldn't launch that because of lacking money. I want to start that. It's called I Am Happiness. It's a happiness program. A lot of people have forgotten to be happy, right? Yeah. People are too busy worrying about all the bad things that can happen to them. So my happiness club was all about, you just go to a place, you just chill, you be happy, right? You do silly little things which you've not done for a very, very long time. You do that, you relax. And that's the third thing I would like to do is restart my I'm Happiness concept worldwide. Dad is very fascinated with helping out a lot of old people because the place that we actually come from, a lot of children abandon their parents. They abandon their parents, and a lot of them are left on streets, and some of them are just kind of waiting to die. Right. So what I would like to do is we'd like to give them home. Right. I've even done the blueprint is ready. The old age home would be on the ground floor. The orphanage will be on the first floor. And those kids are supposed to take care of these people and call them father, mother. So they get the family and these people get kids and everybody lives in peace and harmony. Right. And then if I have some more money, I'd like to really freak out and enjoy a lot of life. Because there are a lot of things that I've always wished to do. But then, after I'm done with all of this, if I still have, own a jet or a Ferrari, have a nice house and stuff like that, that'll be the fifth thing. And then the list goes on and on. As I've told you, Christina, I'm a dreamer. Mm-hmm. And if I dream, most of the time I get it. And I know I'm going to have all of this.
Right? Wow. So a huge thanks to
Christina, I have to come in. And in my list, there is also one more line I need to add, actually. I would like to spend more time with Pradeep, not doing business, actually. This fellow is so much fun to be with, and he makes me laugh. His sense of timing and humor is unbelievable. And you should see him outside the business. When he has a lot of money, I would love to go back to Thailand with him. I still remember the time which I spent time with him. And if he's going to do anything, which he said, the last one, which he said, fun. And I would like to be part of that, and because he's fun to be with.
I know, me too, and I can't wait. So all of you can see, by the way, thank you, Dr. Senjal and Pradeep, for joining me with that answer. So, you've heard some ideas, but the thing is that you have to write this down. And so this makes you understand what you truly want if money was not the object. And so that's also your drive to be able to make things happen here. So thank you both so much with that. And moving forward, what are your current options for increasing your monthly cash flow? So what else are you doing? So some of you, obviously the majority of you right here, there may be guests watching right now, but what are your other cash flow options? What are those? And then it comes back to why are you choosing to build this? So now what you can do is go back to everything, answering those questions that we've had before, and your answer should be pretty blatant here as to why you're choosing to build the ReNao business. Now, this is your first 30 days. And so this is what I want to step into next. So now that you understand the intentions, now you need to take some time outside of this, but let's just say that we've, taken a break and you've had a couple of hours to focus on that. Maybe it'll take a little bit longer, but let's just say now we're going to come back to the intentions of your business. And so this section is actually geared towards setting up your business for success during your first 30 days. Now, for those of you that have been here more than 30 days, I say go back to day one. I have relaunched my business and doing this 18 years. It doesn't matter if I've been somewhere a year, 2 years, 5 years. It's all about relaunching yourself. It's all about relaunching your business and going back to day one. So these are some simple things, accessing your back office, for new people that are coming in, you probably know this already, but it's really important about how do I access my back office. So one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to go to myrenaoglobal.com, which is our corporate website. You're going to click join in. And as you joined the process, you received an ID and you set up, of course, your own password. So if you don't know your password, obviously you can reset it. But when you go to log in, myrenaoglobal.com, log in, you're gonna simply put in the ID that was given in your password. Now you've got this replicated website, which is myrenaoglobal.com/your ID. So in mine, 407988. So you put that, and that's your replicated site that you'll be able to send to people that's connected directly to you. Now, brand promoter active status, this is very important in order to earn all commissions, trips. By the way, this is going to be a major training next Saturday. I'm not going to give that away, but you're going to want to definitely be here next Saturday to truly, truly learn what this is and why auto ship and being active is so important. But it's about having at least 49 product services to make sure that you're continuing to earn all lines of commissions. And again, you're going to learn in more detail why this is so important next week. Daily Zoom. So this is about staying connected. You have to ask yourself this question. Another training that I've done is there's 168 hours in a week. Back out your fixed time. More people have more time now. I know some people are going back to work. We've got a second wave of COVID here in the US. I know that's happening across the globe, but it's about time, and it's about time management. It's about how we're using that time. So daily Zooms, join our top leaders from around the globe as they come together and share their love for ReNao. So there are Zooms going on all the time and in different languages. And so when you tap into these, and you may think, okay, well, I've already been on 2. Well, how much more can you learn? Are you going to start presenting these Zooms? So it's very important about being a part of these daily Zooms. The Thursday Corporate Leadership Zoom. So we've now merged the Millionaire Mentor along with the Rising Star Testimonial into one on Thursdays. So this Monday, there will not be Millionaire. So every Thursday, we've brought this together. So a very, very powerful Zoom. And this is designed for all of the brand promoters. This is led by Mr. Mel Gill, as you know, and it's got inspiring testimonials from the field. And so this is important. I know here this lasts a lot. I put the wrong timing in there. It does last longer than that. I forgot to put another number in front of there, but it does last. Sometimes this can go an hour, hour and a half, but I will share with you that the information in this and the testimonials are incredibly, incredibly powerful. Corporate emails. One of the things I do realize, we're in the world of text messages, WhatsApp, and all that. I promise you that, the emails that go out, first of all, there's a lot of recognition with emails that go out. Plus, I promise if I send an email out that has my name on it or a video from Christina, please watch it. Anything informational, so you may receive something from Mr. Gill, but I promise that anything informational that we're sending out, it's important for you to watch. I'll have people that'll come to me and they'll ask, well, what about this? And I'll say, well, that was in an email that went out. So I'm just sharing with you that, and Dr. Sentel and I were talking about this, going back and forth earlier about, emails and how people don't read, but I'm asking you to definitely read those emails. And if you want to go back and search for them, just go into your email. You can search, from the support at ReNao Global. And then you want to identify your leaders. This is very important. So there is the person that personally sponsored you in this business. But it's also very important to connect with the upline leaders. One of the things we've taught as a rule is you at least want to go up 3 or 4 upline leaders. We work as teams. This is not about individuals. This is about teams. But it's also understanding that people have different personalities. People learn from different personalities. But it's very important to connect and get that phone number, that email, however you can connect. So what you want to do, all of you, you want to sit and you want to write that list, get with the person that enrolled you. Say, okay, who is the next person above that? And who is the next person above that? And obviously you want that person to be actively building and out here so they do know what's going on, but you definitely want to be connected with your upline. Now let's step into inviting and sharing. And again, some of these, I could do an entire training, as could Dr. Sentel, as could Pradeep, just on the inviting and sharing process. And I promise you, we will go into deeper detail. We're going to go into detail about objections. There's so much. And we could just take one subject and have a training on that. But, if you think about inspiration helps to ignite your business success. So what inspires you? Think about the questions that we've already asked. What inspires you the most about ReNao? What product or service or benefit do you enjoy the most? But just because it might be your favorite doesn't mean that the person you share it with is going to be their favorite, which is why we're going to continue adding to the business sectors. You know, as you begin to share products and company mission with family and friends, remember to keep it simple. And it's all about that inviting and getting them to that next Zoom, because again, remember, we truly want to be able to impact lives. So this is about the inviting and sharing. And let's create a list. I know that this is not the first time you've heard that. Create a list. That's what we all say. Ladies and gentlemen, creating a list is very important. How many of you, you don't have to raise your hand, how many of you have written your list? And some people will say, well, I have the names in my phone. No, that's not the same thing. However, you can certainly go down to the bottom of your contact list and get the number of people. I have more than 2,000 in my phone. Do you think I've contacted all of those? Absolutely not, but I'm going to. So initially, you just want to write the top 100 people that could benefit from using the products, or someone that you would like to partner with as a brand promoter. You know, this list is never ending. My apologies. There's an error here. I see where I did not go back and correct some spelling here. But one of the things I want to share with you is a memory jogger. I'm sure many of you have a memory jogger. So not only do you have that list of contacts in your phone, there's also a memory jogger, and we can also get this to you. We'll also have this placed in the back office as well as on the ReNao resources site. I mean, there is everything. I mean, obviously you're not going to read all 100 right now, but you know, just some of the you may have names in your phone, but you may not have some. Sometimes when we switch phones or buy a new phone, we lose contacts in there. But you know, let's just start with some of these. Who's the most successful leader you know? Who's a person who knows everybody? Who's the best athlete you know? Who's the most successful entrepreneur you know? The person that everyone goes to for advice, the best teacher, the person who's most involved in the community. This is memory jogger. This is going to help you. I mean, there's questions in here that you just don't think about. Who does your taxes? Who works at your bank? Who have you met on a plane? Who does volunteer work? Who tailors your clothes? Who sells cosmetics? Who bags your groceries? There are 100 on this list. Who was your boss? Your children's friends' parents? Who's unemployed? It's a big one right now. Who's in retail sales? Who's on your holiday card list? So you can see right here, even if you right now want to just take a quick snapshot of this or a screenshot, and then you could, of course, enlarge it. But a memory jogger list is vital. I mean, I could sit here and just look at who sells Tupperware, who sells Avon, who likes to, I mean, you know, even me, when I pulled this up and just looked at it again, I was like, Christina, this is ridiculous. You're missing out on so many people that are not on your list. So a memory jogger is very important. And again, you know, these are just some bullet points. So right now I'm going to have just real quick, Dr. Central, I've obviously just put some bullet points here, so y'all be prepared. I'm going to call on you both again because everybody's got bullet points about how they want to share with. But sharing your story is an essential component of building your business and building any business. So what we've done is we've put some hot buttons right here together that will help you better understand the ReNao opportunity. And just remember, this is much bigger than any of us. So just, you know, some bullet points here. Pre-launch global company in more than 50 countries in just 6 months. We focus on high demand, global trends, 3 sectors: technology, health, wellness, lifestyle, and travel, providing services and benefits that people use every day, exclusive products with the most lucrative compensation plan. What else would you say? So now this time I'm going to start with Pradeep. Pradeep, is there any more bullet points? And guys, write this down, because when you have bullet points, you can bam, 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 bam. And this actually turns into your 30-second elevator pitch. That's a whole nother training. So Pradeep, I'm going to ask you, what else would you add to this?
Well, Christina, one thing that actually motivates a lot of people is money. Let's admit it, right? And the fact of them not having money is what's the major cause of frustration in their life. Now, a lot of people get inspired. They see other people making money, but then they always think, why am I not? Why am I not making money, right? So the money, vitamin M, is the easiest subject to start talking to a person, right? So when I ask my friends questions like, so, I mean, I'm 47, so most of my friends are 47, you know, so, and we all have completed 25 years plus of college. We've done double MBA, but we have a lot of people who are in our BBA class. I actually go to a lot of them and ask, you know, when we were in college, we set out to reach somewhere. 25 years later, have you reached there? And if not, why? What went wrong? You know, so I get people thinking. So when people start thinking, automatically they start confessing. And most of the people, what they say is they never got the right opportunity, right? They never got to work for a Google, or they never got to work for an IBM or Nokia, one of those branded firms, which actually could take them where they thought they could actually go. So then my question is, why? If there was an opportunity to actually join Google, would you now? When they say yes, I say, you know, I've got a company who's kind of not Google, but maybe a Google in network marketing, because the person or people running the show has got tons and tons of experience how to make this really big. Something is starting. It's in the pre-launch phase, right? This can go big. So let's actually catch up for a cup of coffee to explore if there's a mutually beneficial preposition. I repeat the word, mutually beneficial preposition. What's mutually beneficial preposition? Where there's something in for me and there may be something in for you. So when I use this powerful word from my dictionary, which says mutually beneficial, where the guy understands if he's going to say, yes, I'm going to benefit something for sure. But he comes down to meet me to see how he can benefit anything from the program, right? And that's what I do. I don't let the rabbit out of the hat, but I generate enough curiosity and leave the prospect. What a lot of people do is they vet the prospects after a very long time. Within the next first 30 seconds, they're like, there's a business opportunity. Would you want to join? Gold, ReNao, travel, IT, virtual doc. The guy didn't understand nothing, right? So what has happened is we've just wasted a very, very good prospect, and we couldn't do anything with that person. Arouse the curiosity, right? And by the way, if you know why the person would join before you share the plan, that's very powerful. Okay, identifying the person's why, I personally feel is pretty important, right? Because when you know the person's why, I show the plan and I give him the answer, that's why and that's how. Because he knows his why. But the problem is he's no clue what is the how. And one last thing. Whatever we're trying to do out here, whatever we're trying to do, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. If your conviction is greater, I repeat, if your conviction is greater than the doubt of the prospect joins the business. It is very, very simple. Now, sometimes when we actually share the opportunity, we pretend as if it's a cheap, sidey, time pass business, right? We're not sure what we're doing. So we pretend as if we have no clue and as if we're going to take the prospect and throw them in hell. Now, if that's the attitude we give the prospect, would they join us? Absolutely not. Well, if we actually tell them, hey, there is something in for you and there's something in for me also to actually help you, why would you not want to explore? Right?
Right.
That's it.
Good stuff. So I recapped with that by saying, I love the questions that he asked. You know, I mean, so you could actually date this back to, it could, you know, we obviously are older than, you know, we've got different ages on here. And I'm a little bit older than you. Good gosh, I can't believe I'm almost 9 years older. Woo! Lord have mercy. Anyway, you know, I love this. You know, have you reached your goals that you set? It could be 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years ago, you know, that you would set. I love that open question right there. You know, I was listening to you talk about if you had the opportunity of Google. What I love is that, you know, encapsulating our working life. What if you had the opportunity to be a part of Zoom when it first started and being able to share that with others. So very powerful there. I love it. Guys, jot these down, add those. This is why coming together helps. And I'm sure many of you have great examples as well. And I love the mutual beneficial proposition. I love, the win-win for each of you is also very important. Pradeep, thank you so much with that. And Dr. Senthil, what can you add to this?
Okay, my invitation keeps changing as the years changing, because what I was doing in 2009, I don't do the same now. And now things have changed because of coronavirus. It has become very easy. And I just want to straight away give a training on how to invite. Now, when I say training, just few words, please don't mistake me. Now you cannot meet a person, go and meet a person in person. And it has to be only on a phone call, right? Because of lockdown, right? Many times you're not allowed to enter somebody's house. So the best way today is just to make a phone call. The biggest mistake people do is they pick up the phone, and the first tone, what you talk, makes all the difference. I pick up the phone and say, I want to talk to you something serious. Can I talk to you now? Is this the time? Now, why? Because you set the tone immediately. The minute you say, I want to talk to you something serious, do you know what happens to the tone? He'll say, yeah, what is it, right? Instead, many a times, the biggest mistake because of hesitation, what we do is, hi, how are you? How is the weather? How is life? How is your mommy? How is your daddy? Did you add food? How is the climate? How is the coronavirus? You started that. The minute you start that, you're not able to bring him back into what you want to talk. You understand? So, and the minute you allow him to talk, he's going to keep on talking and telling all the problems. As per law of attraction, you have invited a negative thought process, because today anybody you call is going to talk negative about what is happening in Corona, what is happening in lockdown. And while hearing that, you have lost your posture. You have become negative. So your tone is not going to be positive. So to cut that short, straight away I'll say, can I talk to you something 2 minutes seriously? The minute he says yes, I want to get 5 yes from him, 3 or 4 or 5 yes. Do you want to earn online? I straight away ask him. I don't go to anything else. Do you want to earn online? He'll say, what? Next thing which I say that, what's happening in the world. This I keep on repeating on all the calls nowadays. 170 countries have minus GDP growth. The world is going through economic recession, and 2 quarters you have minus GDP growth. You're talking about economic depression. Today you're talking about economic depression, and 190 million people have lost job, and you know that every industry has collapsed, and this is the time everybody is worried about job loss or credit card problem, loan problem. In this situation, working online is the future, and I've got an opportunity from a US-based company which has digital marketing powered by artificial intelligence. It's an amazing way to earn money and also make a career out of it. And I saw it, I found it to be interesting. I thought as a good friend, it is useful to you. And I want you to come and listen to the lecture, which is free of cost. And if you're interested, I can book a slot for you and give an appointment. Can you tell me more about it? You better listen from the experts, because they are going to elaborate and explain you for 1.5 hours. Don't say that few minutes and half an hour, because he's going to come and quit. You tell him properly, it will take 1.5 hours. Don't have any other appointment. Bring your pad and pen, or bring your diary and write down. And after you go through all that, we will discuss, because in this project, I would love to work with you. And you know me for so many years. I do everything seriously. Okay, the minute he says, he will say yes, yes, yes. And don't give him gaps in between. You give him a gap in between to talk, man is going to deviate the subjects. So you have to be quick, fast, and finish what you want to say. So that is why I always tell people, write down what you want to say. Invitation script. Practice it in front of mirror. And the flow should come fast. And you do that, you will be able to get in. Thank you, Christina.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I hope everyone is taking notes. And then you adapt that to what is best for you. But I'm just sharing with you the reason why I'm calling, and we'll have more people moving forward, that are out there and have experience. They're going to be able to give their ideas as well. But hopefully that helped, for me, just writing down, I'm learning from them as well. That's what I absolutely love about this. Building for growth. So this next little bit is just going to take just a few more minutes, and then we're going to turn it over to our artificial intelligence training, which I'm so excited about. But let's talk about, just the daily activities to generate momentum in your business, to establish a credible business and sustainable, within your organization. So let's talk about engagement calls or Zooms. We do realize.
I'm sorry, I'm disturbing you. Just 1 minute. You were talking about the name list and you asked people to take the screenshot, right? And I've sent a mail to you. There is a PDF file which has been there for more than 15 years in the market, which is called Memory Jogger List. It's a PDF file. I've sent it to you, and I've sent it to Pradeep Menon also. And if you can send it to all the people by company mailer, it'll be very useful for people to write down the name list. I've just sent it to you by mail, and that is what I just shared it with you. Sorry for the disturbance. Thank you.
No, that is okay. I actually have already responded to you saying you rock. So I had already received that. Yes. So we're going to have, yes, the memory jogger. This is not new. It's been out for years and years, but a lot of people are not, do not realize that. But there again, that shows you've got leaders here that so many people, this is not new information, but we're bringing it to you again because it's so important to learn. So let's go back to, thank you, Dr. Senthil. Let's go back to the engagement calls, Zooms. I put calls on there as well, although most everything right now is being done by, the Zooms, right? So these are some things that are incredibly important. And again, we could go into so much detail about each of these subjects, but calls and Zooms. After enrolling a brand new promoter, take a few minutes to introduce them to your upline leaders. I was talking about that list. People need to know that it's not just about, so if I personally bring somebody in, they need to know that it's not just about me. You want to have more people connected. You want to be able to edify one another. You need to have a very important introduction of the other. Now, come on, let's face it. Everybody's got different personalities. People work differently, but focus on the strengths of everyone. Build up the strengths of everyone, introduce, and again, the edification is so important. So Zoom presentations, I've already talked about this. Zoom presentations are going on every day. Make sure that, they're connected with the ones within your teams, but also corporate, as we're going to have more than those. Launch Zooms. Let's talk about launch Zooms. And what do I mean by that? When you have someone brand new that has come into the business, and they've come to your team Zoom, one that you're hosting, or a corporate Zoom. As I shared, we'll be doing more of those, but they have made a decision to join the company. One of the things that I would strongly encourage you is to do an individual launch Zoom